I was upstairs with my headphones on, and they turned off while I was upstairs. I thought they turned off because I was too far away from my PC. But when I came downstairs, they still didn't reconnect, so they were dead. Oh, say something. Okay, yeah, there you go. All right, do it. Okay. What's up, everybody? It is your boy Forte, and it is time for episode 125 of the Damage Per Second podcast. I am here with my amazing co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the man of many slaps, the man that still ain't made a video. We're gonna keep making that an intro until he finally makes one. Part of the Legion of Scum, part of the family, the coup de grace, the homie, the myth, the legend. Slow back slap. How are you doing, sir?
I am doing good. I'm also trying to get the DPS stream up and going, but having a little difficulty, so bear with me. But I'm having a good time regardless. How you doing, bro?
I'm good. I'm just happy that days are behind me and can move forward. It's just been a tumultuous weekend.
What are you playing here?
Halo.
But why has it got like a border
why does it have? Oh, that's why. I know why it has a border.
Oh my god.
Well, I forgot about that. Yeah, it's got a lot of character going on in the background. But other than that, man, no, it's been really good. I cannot complain one bit about anything that's been going on.
Okay. So I mean, what you been up to besides
I haven't done anything.
whatever this is that we're seeing on the screen?
Oh, shut up. I have. Oh, that's okay. That's what it is. Okay.
Focus, please.
Be quiet.
You be.
Leave me
We're having a
alone.
podcast.
Leave me
I can't
alone.
be quiet.
You actually
It's
can't.
kind of the point of a podcast is to talk.
Tell me.
You know.
Tell me your biggest your secret, Slow-mo.
Are you serious right now? Well, okay. Look. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to PlayStation XC Arcade 4247 True Serum Doc Saya Erodimus Baron in the house. Shout out to Level 1 Gaming and Graphic God in the house. Oh, all right, we got the man of logos in the house. What's going on, man?
We got a lot going on there. Got the man of logos in here. Did he make a logo for you?
Yes, he did. My logo is made by the Graphic God. Yeah, shout out to him.
Mine's is too.
Erodimus that he's coming to us from the National Harbor next to the MGM Grand. I know that location. I know that location very well.
Oh my god. What do you know about a Slow-mo? Where is this at? Like in relationship to where you are right now?
Not too far away. Probably about like 30 minutes away from where I reside. So yeah, it's got the harbor's pretty cool. It's got a nice little Ferris wheel out there, for like people go out on dates out there, nice little restaurants here and there, some fancy hotels in case things progress. You know how it is,
Fancy in case things progress. Oh,
I'm
man,
joking.
no,
I mean, what do I know about that?
No,
What do I know about that? I know
man.
nothing.
Have you taken your wife to these places?
I mean, we've gone down there.
You know, you got to do stuff like that too, because you got kids. When you got kids, it's like, how old are your kids?
13, 12, and 7.
13, 12, and 7.
So the 12-year-old just had the birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday, 12-year-old. But yeah, man, you're definitely you're smack dad in that middle part of where your kids are just old enough where you can't sneak and do anything. So we got to go on a date and not come home and have somebody watch our kids.
Basically,
it's like I be telling my wife, it's like, man, we got to get somebody to watch our kids. Why? I was like, cause trying to go out on a date. We ain't trying to do nothing freaky. I was like, you say that now. But no, man, shout out to like you said, shout out to everybody in the chat. Really appreciate you guys coming through. But outside of that, I haven't been doing too much. Like I did the Rod of Nightmare raid over the weekend. Didn't get a chance to finish it because of some difficulties at work where I was supposed to be off the entire weekend, but ended up having to work for Saturday and Sunday, and didn't get a chance to finish it. So hopefully at some point this week I'll get it done. I was on the boss checkpoint and missed out on my 48-hour clear, but it's cool. Outside of that, I haven't been feeling too well, so I just been pretty much, when you don't feel good, it's like you just want to sleep it away. That's what I've been trying to do. Sleep it away, literally. And then I had 2 inventories at work over the last 2 days. I had one on not Monday. I had one on Tuesday. Then I had my own personal one at my store yesterday. So I spent, I want to say, of the last 48 hours, I probably spent a good 31 of it at work. So it's just,
that sounds awful, bro. I mean, I'm gonna keep it buck with you. That sounds absolutely terrible.
It was definitely terrible. Like, have you ever walked around, like, because normally, like, especially in your job, you do a lot of sitting because you do IT and stuff.
Yeah.
And the thing was, yesterday was so bad because I was like walking around the store, organizing sections just so it's like more easier for people to like scan it all together. And I was like standing and walking around the entire time for like literally 11 o'clock to 10 o'clock at night. And when I like at some point, like around 9 o'clock, or I want to say around 8 o'clock, my legs were so shot like my knees was hurting, my heel and my foot was hurt. Every time I would step, I felt like I was stepping on glass or something. I came home and laid down, and I woke up this morning to go to work, and my ankles and my knees hurt. Like I literally limped out of the house today to go to work.
You getting old, man. I'm just gonna keep it buck. That's what that is. You
Yeah,
getting old.
yeah, it's arthritis
Look,
everywhere.
and I
You'll catch it one day. You probably already
look.
got it.
I mean, I don't have
I
arthritis.
don't
I
have
got
arthritis.
something. I blame this on our dear friend Luca
Oh
and
gosh.
everybody that has been talking about my knees for years. And I didn't have no knee problems. I didn't have no knee issues
Mm-hmm.
until recently. Now I got a knee problem. Now I got a knee issue. Like my right knee for some reason, like it's been bothering me for like 2 weeks now. And you know how like when you was younger, if you had like a little, like let's say you playing basketball and you went up for a rebound, came down wrong or something, something may be sore for like a day or two, but
Mm-hmm.
then it go away and you never went to a doctor or anything. It wasn't like, man, I need to go get this checked out. But man, here I am. I haven't done anything. I work out, every now and then, but I haven't done I haven't done anything where it's like, a specific event caused this.
Mm-hmm.
It just started hurt, like it's like right under my right kneecap. It's
Mm-hmm.
just sore.
Yeah.
And it's just been like that. And it's like, man, it's been about 2 weeks now, and I'm just waiting for it to just heal or something. And my body like, nah, fam, we don't do that no more. So it's just so it's
Busy.
I'm just kind of limping around. The kids looking at me like, Daddy, what's wrong? I'm like, I don't even know. I'm not going to the doctor for you. You can forget that. So it's what it is. I've been for me. I've been playing
Yeah, what you been playing?
Halo
Resident
Infinite
Evil?
Season 3. No, ain't no
Oh.
Resident Evil. Halo Infinite Season 3, absolutely. I've been playing that. I've been playing check this out. You would be shocked by this.
Oh.
I've been playing Gotham Knights on PC.
Why?
Because I want to. But
Did
no,
somebody
no, no.
buy
So,
this for you, or did somebody like guilt trip you, or make you?
no,
Did
I
somebody
bought
buy the
Gotham Knights
mid-master
on.
tier to make you play that?
No. I bought Gotham Knights on sale last December.
All right,
I
before we
think it was last December. It was like on sale for like
Mm-hmm.
$20 or something like $25. And I bought it. I knew it was still busted on PC
Right.
and consoles, on everything basically. But I was just waiting for that patch. And shout out to Agent Deli,
Out the
because
deli.
Agent Deli was like, he played it recently and he's like, it plays well, it's definitely fixed now. I was like, bet, let me go check it out. And so, I was talking to some of my friends, and they saw it was on sale again on Epic Game Store. Like, when I got it on sale, it was on sale on Steam.
Right.
They saw it was on sale for Epic Game Store for $23. So all three of them bought it. Then we completely forgot that it's only 2-player co-op in the game, and the 4-player co-op is like this thing called Heroic Assault, which is like you got to unlock that eventually. But we've been playing it like just like two people playing together, and other two playing together, and I sent you some gameplay, so you could at some point roll the gameplay.
Okay.
It's definitely fixed on PC. I mean, it like I'm playing it. I just saw you grenade your own teammate. That was sad.
It was. That man scared me.
Yeah. Daniel says you probably have arthritis in your knee. Daniel, don't put that voodoo on me. Don't you put that hex on me. I ain't got no arthritis. I don't know what you're talking about.
Got those
but no,
knees.
It's story's okay. The combat is not as good as like your traditional Arkham style combat, but it's okay. Like once you start to figure out like the ins and outs of it, and it's really about like keeping your momentum and timing, and the longer you go hitting and getting your timed attacks in. So like they got this thing called timed attack. So like every time you strike an enemy, you also hit the X button again, or the square button, depending on which controller you're using, and you'll see a visual like change with the hit. It's like critical hits that you're doing on the enemy. And the more you do those, and the more that you're successfully doing the perfect dodge to dodge enemy attacks, you build up this momentum when your attacks do more. So it's like it's pretty cool with that. And they got other like avenues for you to get around. I'm using Nightwing, and my boy is using Robin. And I think I probably will also build up Batgirl just because I know that my other two friends are do both of them are trying to do Red Hood for some reason. I'm like, no one's going to play Batgirl, so I'll play Batgirl at some point. But just it's all right. You know, it's not like it's not a great game. It's a decent game, but like on my PC, it now that it's been fixed, performs great. Now, before we were talking about how it was very CPU bound and everything. Like the only way it would run is if you like at 60 FPS is if you had like the best CPU on the market, which was terrible. Like your GPU basically had zero not use, that's zero use, but your GPU was not getting taxed at all. Now like I'm playing it if I play in 1440p, I'm playing on average between, and this is like completely max settings with ray tracing on, 100 to 120 frames per second, and I'm not using DLSS. This is just straight up rasterization, straight up rendering. And 4K, I'm playing anywhere. And initially, it was like 60 to 75 frames per second at 4K max settings. I did turn ray tracing off for that, but later on, as I began to play a little bit more, I started in some sections, it's like 80 to 100 frames. All the cutscenes are 60 FPS, which is fine, just as long as it's stable, you know. But it's a decent game. You know, I'm playing it with friends, so it's cool. I've been playing that. I've been playing Call of Duty and Halo Infinite, of course. I nearly quit Rogue Company again.
Oh Lord.
Dealing with these cheaters, man. And it's just like it's so annoying dealing with the cheaters now. Like for the game to have such a small community and have such a rampant problem with cheaters is ridiculous. And I actually got into a little that it wasn't like a argument, but I was able. My complaints online actually got one of the lead producers to respond to me and gave me some clarification on some things. So I was under the assumption every time I run into a cheater, I report them immediately. I know how the report works. Like I'm unfortunately I'm not like a partner with Rogue Company. So if I was a partner, I'd be able to like, you know, really get in touch with a producer and get someone banned in real time. I've seen other partners do that. But I'm not. So the report function, they do look into people who get reported. And I reported a cheater, and I know within 24 hours they will take a look at it, and if it's confirmed the person was cheating, you're out. They'll ban you, but it's a free game, so really, it's no surprise that a lot of the cheaters don't even have like real names. They be like just a bunch of gibberish and stuff because they like this. They're on their 33rd account. They don't care, right? So, but I still report them regardless. But I thought I will also block them, and I thought blocking them would prevent them from matchmaking with me again.
That usually
but
does,
I was wrong.
doesn't it? Oh, it does.
No, well, not for Rogue Company. Apparently, blocking people is only preventing them from communicating with you. And I'm like, I don't care.
If I block you, I don't want to play. I don't want to see you.
Right, like I would think blocking someone is preventing them from matchmaking with you, but are you serious? So like a lot of people have been talking about like that's typical high res studios kind of nonsense. All their games, when their games start to because they do a lot of multiplayer games, and a lot of them do have potential, and then a lot of them like and I guess just this is really my first foray messing around with high res games. They have a tendency to really rub people the wrong way with how they maintain their games, and they do things like this where like they don't really work that hard to get rid of cheaters because hey, these are consistent people playing their game, which sucks.
Yeah.
And but no,
You want to keep the 50 people that does play your game though.
hey, it's more. It's more than
Well,
50
Truth
people.
Serum says you're the only guy that still brings up Rogue Company.
In this community, absolutely. But
This
there are
is
people that play
it's
the
a pretty
game.
big community though.
But there are people who
It's
look. There
not
are people who
small.
play the game. It is a consistent 500 people watching it on on Twitch.
Oh yeah, that's where they at. They all on Twitch.
But no, look, man, look, it's yeah, it might have run its course. It might be time for me to uninstall. I'm just really just disenchanted with it. Erodim's the chat asked me, have I tested out Exo Primal yet? And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but the open beta starts tomorrow. I think I did install it, so I'll give it a shot. It's a free open beta if anyone, and it's on everything. It's on PlayStation, PC, Xbox, every platform except for a Switch, of course, has the ability to do the open beta. So if you want to try it out and see what it's about, go ahead and do that. That's what I'll be doing.
Yeah.
I'm not very hyped on it or anything, but it's just kind of like I'll see what it's about. You know how I am right now with live service games. I'm just like we've had this conversation multiple times. This is I think live service games there are a lot definitely some successful ones and there's a graveyard of unsuccessful ones, and I think we're kind of at a saturation point where it's like new live service games have a very hard time breaking in because you really are trying to cater your game to a very not limited demographic. There's a lot of people out there that like live service games, but they like their live service game.
Right.
Like that could be Fortnite. That could be that mean people in Halo. That mean people in Battlefield 2042 either, but Call of Duty, Warzone, that kind of stuff.
Playing Battlefield still.
Like that. Well, yeah. Well, not that many, but
Now
still.
that they patched it to hell and back.
Well, I mean, it's about that Battlefield 2042 community is about right now is about as large as the Halo Infinite community. So it's not that big, but Call of Duty is much bigger. Valorant, Apex Legends, those kind of games, Rocket League, stuff like that. But it's just when people got their game and they've invested so much time in it and money in it, buying multiple battle passes, cosmetics, all kinds of other stuff, you're invested. And then it's difficult, especially with the way these games are designed to take up a lot of your time. It's difficult to convince someone to stop playing that game and go play your game. You really got to provide everything that the other game provides and then some. And it's just that Exo Primal, a game being published by Capcom, and look, I love Capcom. They are pioneers in the video game industry, and I love their comeback. Where now Resident Evil is the hotness again, and Street Fighter 6 looks awesome, but we gotta keep it a buck with their like live service co-op kind of stuff. They keep trying to like add these like multiplayer experiences into Resident Evil that never work. I mean, Street Fighter is one thing, but it's like they keep trying to create like these other like live servicey experiences that just never catch on. And I don't know if they have a really their finger on the pulse of what it takes to really make a successful live service game. But I mean, I found
there's only a few studios that can do that.
Right, but I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a fair shake. I'm always up for giving a game a fair shake, and if it turns out to be really good, it'll have a space. Look, I'm still waiting for.
You said you're willing to give a game a fair shake, right?
Yeah. I played. Remember that game, the first Descendant that I tried to get you to play?
I wouldn't touch that.
I'm waiting. Why? You didn't even play it. You didn't even try it.
No, I didn't.
It's really good.
I know it's really
the first
good.
Descendant is really like
good. I watched a lot of
like
content creators talk about it.
It's like Destiny, but in third person perspective. And looks visually way better than Destiny.
Oh my god!
It's actually pretty good, and I'm waiting for them to drop it this year. I'm all excited for that, man.
So,
Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say. So, my homie Ducky is in the chat, and he says, "Shout out to Slow Mo, enjoying hearing how much you love Destiny." So slow,
Oh, oh,
so Slow Mo. Why won't you tell us? You know,
yeah.
and Ducky also, you know, you lucky I love you. Because he really wanted me to one day just to make all the top, especially since Lightfall just came out. He wanted me to make a whole show with just nothing but Destiny topics on it. And I said Slow Mo will freaking have a fit if I did that.
That's terribly petty, and it's like, what would there really be to talk about? That'd be a boring show.
No, there was a lot.
That would be a lot of complaints.
No. I think a lot of people
not even from me, but from like Destiny fans.
He said it would have been a great show.
Yeah.
So what
audience of one. Shout out to Ducky.
Quite a few people in the chat that frequents the Destiny chat. But I do.
Okay, six people.
Okay, whatever. But I do want to ask, before we move on to the first topic, I do want to ask you now about that, because since you were talking about live services, I never really got your reasoning. Go ahead.
I also, one other thing I've been doing, I've been working on this all day.
Video?
So maybe. It depends.
Continue.
I'm working on a sniper build in the Division 2.
Oh my god.
And so before, when I first started like messing around with it, and I was excited that I got like 3 million damage with one shot. Now the highest I've done 22.5 million damage.
Did you? Wow. Speaking of
22.5 freaking million. I'm talking. It is, and I'm not even done yet because my goal is to be able to go solo in a heroic mission and just one shot every enemy, just headshot everybody, one shot every enemy until they're all dead. So that's my goal. But so I'm still working on it. But shout out to the Division.
Shout out to the Division. Shout out to them. But I do want to ask you this before we move to the first topic. Mm-hmm. I never really got your, I know you're hard on Bungie and you're hard on Destiny and you can't stand it, but I never really gotten a reason why you can't stand it as much as you do. Give me your, I always go back and forth with you on this, but then it was also brought up to me when we were raiding. He was like, when he was talking about that, he was like, yeah, why doesn't he really like? I said, you know what? I don't really know. I just know that he throws a lot of shade at it. But why do you, what is the reason that you just don't rock with Destiny like that at all?
It's kind of personal.
Oh, okay. This is great.
It's a vendetta. It's a vendetta.
It's a vendetta. Okay.
Against Bungie in general. Okay. No, I'm not rolling up on Bungie headquarters with firearms or anything. It's not like that.
Seattle's a no carry state, I think.
but it's okay. So once upon a time, me and my homies used to always play multiplayer games together. And we would play a game for a little while, then we would move on to the next one. We played some Borderlands 1, we moved on to Borderlands 2, and we played Destiny. And it was like, yeah, cool. We were kind of waiting to move on to the next game. And all my homies was ready to move on, but there was like 2 of them that just couldn't put Destiny down for some reason. It was weird. It was like this obsession. It was crackheadish. It was very crackish. It was sad. It's like I'm talking about the kind of obsession with a game where you be like, man, you might need some help. Be like, you might need to go talk to somebody. Like, to the point where, and here's an example. One of the crackheads, one of the Destiny crackheads, his wife also told him, you have a problem. You need to stop playing this game. They got into an argument. So he's promised he wouldn't play the game for a month. So he a weekend, okay? A week into this, he hits me up. Yo, slow mo. I need some help with something. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? You know, like, are you home? I'm like, yeah, I'm working from home today. What's going on? Yeah, I need some help moving some furniture in the house. I said, oh, really? All right, well, I'll come through. So, like I told him what time I was coming, on my lunch break. Drive over. I'm like, what's up, man? What's going on? Yeah, where's this furniture? Yeah, I just need to move this couch from here to here. And I'm like, this is across the room. You, you tell me you couldn't do this by yourself? Nah, man, I got, I hurt my hip. I'm like, when you hurt your hip, whatever, but we move the couch. What's going on with you? Oh, nothing, the wife said I'm playing too much Destiny, so I ain't playing Destiny no more. But you know what? Why are you over here? Can you help me out with something? I said, sure, what's up? Can you turn on Destiny, go to Zur, and pick up this exotic weapon? And I'm like, excuse me? Yeah. Because I can't play Destiny. I want you to log into my game, go to Zur. It's Friday, so he's back. And I don't want to miss out on this gun. And I'm just like, yo, you got a problem, bro. You have a problem. This man was logging into Bungie's website to just stare at his Guardian and just move gear around. I was like, what is happening? This is why, like, my disdain for Bungie is like the disdain that someone has for a drug or for a drug dealer. You got my friend hooked on smack. Now he don't bathe no more. He just be stealing from family, selling cheeseburgers on the side of the corner, selling himself. It's sad. That's how I feel. So that and from then on, I was just like, man, screw Destiny. I don't care about Destiny no more.
Oh, okay. Okay. Context means everything, I guess. No, I can't be mad at you about that. I mean, because I ain't gonna lie, I had a moment like that. Back in Destiny.
I know you had, because you were a crackhead too.
I had a moment like that in Destiny.
All y'all the same. All y'all the same.
I had a moment like that in Destiny 1. We were taking the kids. It was Iron Banner week. The Fellwinter shotgun was one of the awards that you had to get if you had to play a certain amount of games to get the engram to unlock it. And I had to leave the day before Iron Banner started because we were going to take the kids to Kalahari for their spring break. And I called my best friend. I said, C Vine, I need you to log in on my account and get this shotgun for me while I'm gone. Because by the time I came back, the Iron Banner was going to be gone because we were going for a whole week. And I said, I need you to get this shotgun for me. And bro, let me tell you, I was watching and looking at my account over the course of the next 2 days to make sure he got it. And he finally took a picture of my shotgun on my character and said, I'm going to leave it right here on your Guardian for you. When you come back.
Absolutely sad. Like, I'm telling you, something's wrong with y'all.
I did it.
It's a drug.
I can sympathize with it.
My crusade against Bungie. I'm trying to help y'all. I'm trying to help. I'm trying to be helpful. I'm trying to help y'all find another looter shooter that is good. That way may take you away, like kind of wean you off of this drug. You know how like when someone is addicted to like fentanyl or something like that, or what's the crystal meth, and instead of just like having you go cold turkey because it kill you, like it will literally kill you. What they do is that they put you on like a different drug that is also kind of addictive, but not as addictive as that drug that you on. And then they kind of wean you into something else, maybe put you on a little Percocet, a little something, kind of slowly get you off of it. And then hopefully when you go back out in the real world, you're not logging back into Destiny again. But that's what I'm trying to. That's the service I'm trying to provide. I'm trying to help you guys.
I appreciate you, bro. Shout out to Erodimus with the $5 super chat. Says Slow Mo is lying. Ain't no way Slow Mo moving the couch with those bad knees.
You know what? See, this is literally I talked about this earlier. Y'all talked my bad knee. I have one bad knee, okay? Y'all talked it into existence. I had no knee problems until y'all started saying slow mo got bad knees. Now I got this one bad knee that won't go away. And no, Daniel, it is not arthritis. Like seriously, I had the same symptoms. I ignored it and had to get X-ray. I'm not. No, I don't have arthritis. That's not it.
All right,
Not it.
well, it's good to be here with you as always, man. And shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Ducky. Shout out to Ronimus True Serum. Shout out to Gerard Mack. Really appreciate you guys. There we go. I was in the different. Oh, he was in the different chat. Oh, he was in the other chat.
He was in the DPS chat.
He was in DPS chat. He was like, "Where's everybody at?"
Yeah.
Shout out to you.
Which is just fine. And for those that want to watch it from the DPS channel, it's the reason why we have it being co-streamed now in the DPS on the DPS channel, is that we want to make sure that like you know where we're at, because we know we go back and forth between Forte's channel and my channel. But if you're ever confused, just know that you can go to the Damage Per Second podcast channel and watch it there. So
right.
You know.
All right, well, cool. Well, moving on to the the first topic, let's talk about Ghostwire Tokyo coming to Game Pass and the PlayStation Collection, which is not crazy. I kind of figured it would, but my thing is this happened with Deathloop too. Like where PlayStation's like, we ain't gonna give you no W's. We gonna still we give you no W's. You say as soon as this game comes out on our comes out on your platform in Game Pass, guess what? It's going right into our PlayStation collection.
Well, that's not exactly Sony's choice.
No.
We know.
I think I think they wrote a deal with that beforehand.
Well, I mean, I don't like. Okay, the deal they had with Ghostwire Tokyo was before Microsoft even acquires ZeniMax Media. So it's like, I don't think that really has anything to do with it. I think the only reason, and okay, so you're saying it's going to be it's going to be in PS Plus the same day it's coming to Game Pass. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, so
same thing that happened with Deathloop.
They're only doing this because of regulators.
Oh yeah.
That's the only reason, because they already told the regulators, hey, look, ban Call of Duty, we'll put Call of Duty in PS Plus. Yeah, yes, we sure would. Yeah, okie dokie, whatever you want to hear, whatever you want. So now they don't want to give Sony any ammo. Because if you saw the latest Sony comments, they're trying to liken a game going into Game Pass at launch to an exclusive, even if the game is a multi-platform game that also launched on their platform. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, they're like, you and Enrique just got Plan B.
Oh, yeah, I know one shot, one bullet.
but like that being said, they're like, all right, well, we'll put it in both for this one, because they didn't put Deathloop in both when Deathloop finally came out on Xbox, but
it came Deathloop came a little later.
Well, Deathloop launched on PlayStation, but what I'm saying is that Deathloop didn't go into PS Plus the same day that it came out on Xbox and Game Pass.
Right.
But they're doing that with Ghostwire Tokyo, which, I mean, like, I don't know, like, that game has never really, like, it never really interests me, but I might just check it out and see what's up with it. Who knows? But I'm kind of busy with so many games, I probably won't, but it's good that it's coming out though, finally, you know, and even though this looks like this will be the last new IP that we'll see from ZeniMax Media that shows up on PlayStation.
Right.
So
shout out to Ducky with the $10 super chat. He says, here's a shout out to Slow Mo for breaking the cycle that is Destiny crack.
I shout out to Ducky. I'm just trying to do the Lord's work. I'm just trying to help out.
Hey, what's going on, Big Matt Mo? How you doing, man? Horizon says, so when Deathloop went to PlayStation Plus last year at the same time as Game Pass.
It did?
It did.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Let me double check.
Did.
Because I don't recall that. I didn't think that was the case.
I thought it
went in early.
Yeah, I thought it either was day and date that it went into Game Pass, or it was literally like not even like a week apart. It was super close when it went into the PlayStation Collection.
Oh, you know what? Okay, I stand corrected. Ramos is right. On September 20th, it came to PS Plus and Devil. So that probably really was in the contract.
Yeah,
That yeah, when it goes to Game Pass, it'll also go to PS Plus. That's fine. That's fine.
yeah.
But yeah, I still kind of feel like it benefits their argument to make sure that it's in both. And even if it wasn't going to be in both, I think they probably would try to push it into both simply because of the some of the things that are being said to the CMA by Sony. Just kind of what in the meantime counter that narrative, even though we know if this regulator stuff wasn't going on, that they wouldn't be so accommodating.
Razar said he said in the other chat that Solid Rev deleted his Destiny character to ensure he never played it again.
Shout out to him.
Hey,
Even
what did I tell you?
Cat Daddy Lurk did the same thing and ended up creating a new character. So
Did he?
yeah,
I didn't know he deleted his character. I know he started
he
playing.
deleted
again.
all his characters and still went back to the game
Nah,
years later
nah.
with a brand new
Ain't
character,
no
which
happening.
is even worse because it's like
Nope.
Destiny is one, and we talked about this before too. It's one of the worst games
On board.
for yeah, it's one of the worst games. What is on your screen, man?
What do you mean it's on my screen?
Look at what you're displaying.
I'm looking at it.
You're not looking. You clearly was not looking at what the rest of us was looking at.
It shows
man.
Halo Infinite.
That's not what was being shown a second ago.
Oh,
you
it
know
must have
that.
just been. Oh, it was the end of a clip. Then okay.
Yeah. What was I about to say? Crap, I lost my train of thought. But
Nah,
no,
man, I couldn't do that, man. It ain't happening. So, but that's what I also told.
about
yeah.
hold on. It was about Destiny and their onboarding. Their onboarding is awful, and I think it's really difficult to onboard people into a game that's that long running. I think a lot of straight up MMOs have a better method of it, but Destiny has even it's even harder for Destiny because they've vaulted a lot of older content.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if you're brand new to Destiny, you literally have no idea what the heck is going on. And then there's no way to really catch up without having to use some kind of like outside tools or some kind of outside YouTube's what's the name of the guy? I think his name begins with a B and he does a lot of the lore for Destiny.
My name is Bife.
Yes, that's it. Like you need to actually like binge that guy's content to understand what the heck is going on because it's almost impossible at this point for you to be able to do that strictly through the game, which is one of the main reasons why I actually be like, don't play that game. If you're brand new and you want to give it a shot, don't bother because you're just not going to understand what the heck is going on.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's one of those things, but I also just think that most people, if they was to delete their character, they're not coming back. That's why I always tell people, if I delete my character, it's a wrap, bro. That game is gone. It's dead to me forever. That's too much time invested for me to go back and redo it again. So shout out to him for doing it. But finishing out Ghostwire Tokyo, I just think like in general, it's just. It's good. I wasn't interested in the game then. I'm not interested in it now. I mean, if it was something, it's not like I didn't have access to a PlayStation 5 to play it when it came out. It was just like, cool. I really wasn't into it. So I'm glad that a lot of people are going to get a chance to play it. But, Game Pass is going to have some more stuff for people to jump in and play.
That is true, and Game Pass has been it's been pretty good so far.
It's
this
been
year.
Really good this year. I mean, and it's honestly just starting. You got that coming out this month. You got next month's going to be really big with Minecraft and I forget the other game that's coming next month. Oh, MLB. Oh, MLB is coming next week.
Yeah,
I just thought about
MLB
that.
the show. There's something else.
There was something else that's coming next month too that they announced. I can't remember.
April.
Well, April is Redfall.
Really? I thought May was Redfall. It's April?
No, sorry. No, Minecraft is April. Redfall is May 2nd.
Okay, yeah. So it's like every month they seem to have something to drop in there, which is
Yeah.
pretty good. Yeah.
Cool. So moving on to the next topic. Let's talk about this PlayStation 4. This PlayStation 5 Pro that's coming in 2024. And so there's a lot of documentation out there about this. There's also some patents that are talking about ray tracing being the biggest the focal point of what they're going to be doing with the PlayStation 5. And I've been seeing a lot of just different, developers, publishers, stuff talking about why they're moving like a lot of their engines and stuff. Their engines are moving over to UE5 and stuff just because of not just because of simplicity, but just how it works with ray tracing. And this also ties into kind of the Series S too, and how
Mhm.
that system doesn't really have ray tracing. I mean, let's just be 100% honest here. And developers talked about how ray tracing really isn't all of. People look at it as more of a graphics lighting engine, which it is, but that's not the real benefit that the developers see from what ray tracing can bring into the gaming sphere. Most of them are talking about how it speeds up workflow, mostly because they don't have to really worry about the lighting because it's automatically built into the engine itself, and all they have to do is just, instead of having to place lights and light
Whoa,
sources and stuff.
wait.
Go ahead.
Who's saying this? Because it's not. It depends on the engine.
Well, no, that's what I'm
Because
saying.
not
Well,
all engines have ray tracing
no, we're
built
talking
in.
about
Go ahead.
we're talking about UE5. We're not talking about all of them. UE5.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, UE5. Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause, I mean, look,
this is all UE5. We're not talking about anything else.
we had to wait 2 years for the Slip Space engine to get ray tracing, and all they got is ray trace shadows, and they don't look anything like anything worth turning on. But go about my bad.
No, you're good. No, I mean,
okay. So with UE5, well, yeah, like ray tracing, it's like ray tracing, or like the better version of path tracing. Like it's more realistic. It's more natural. It looks better than the work they have to put in. And yeah, it's less work that they have to do. But then the other side of it is the hardware hit.
Yes.
Because look, they got ray tracing on UE5 in Fortnite, and it looks absolutely amazing. I mean, like if you have the capability and you're on a PC, because it ain't on console, but if you have the capability and the hardware to do it, go ahead and install Fortnite, max that thing out, and just walk around the beautiful like world and look at the architecture and see just how great it looks. But when I play Fortnite, I'm not playing Fortnite with ray tracing on.
Oh,
Even though I can run it, and I could probably not just, but like I could run it easily with at 1440p with Lumen on high, not ultra, and Nanite on high, not ultra, with ray tracing on, and have at least 60 frames per second going. But that's not how I want to play Fortnite, like at 120 frames per second. I want to play at as high a frame rate as possible because I mean although it's a fun game and it's like a popular battle royale that a lot of casuals play, it's pretty competitive too. Right. And so I want to win. I don't want to just stare at the flowers. I want to actually shoot people in the face and get that victory royale. So those who are serious about the game, they don't turn that stuff on. I mean, I've seen people stream Fortnite and they're playing on all low because with the bushes, so people like to hide in the bushes. If you got the stuff on low, if you got it on low, you can see people in the bushes. So people play on low, so they can see enemies out in the open areas better and stuff. And it's just it is what it is. Like people who are really serious about the game don't care about all that stuff like that. But consider that Unreal Engine is the most popular game engine in the world, and the majority of developers out there are using it. It is great to have those options available for all the various different ways that people make games.
Right.
And not everyone's making a Fortnite or something that has a competitive scene. You're going to get people who are going to be using Unreal Engine that are having like a very story-driven game, kind of like those walking sims, kind of like like Telltale kind of games, stuff like that. And if you can push it and have it be playable, absolutely turn ray tracing on and make your game pop. Go for it.
Yeah, and you might just have to buy a PlayStation 5 to make it happen, or PlayStation 5 Pro. So slow mo, is it too early for a PlayStation 5 Pro?
I think it is. I think it's too early. I don't think that like it's been 3 years, and I don't think almost 3 years, and I don't think there has been enough time for developers to really learn the ins and outs of these systems. I think moving on to a new SKU is a little too soon, but there are some limitations here that we just gotta they're on RDNA 2 architecture, and AMD is already working on RDNA 4.
Mm-hmm.
You developers can squeeze more out of the PS5. They absolutely can. But if here's something that Sony's going to have to, and I'm pretty sure they've already had these discussions and have already found the answer to these questions.
Mm-hmm.
Are you really going to stick with older hardware when you know your competitor is no longer looking at console generations the way you do, or the way they used to? Because we've talked about this for a while, and I did a video on this years ago that all the excuse me, all the comments from Phil Spencer a while ago were saying things like, we're definitely working on the next hardware. And if there's a Xbox Series V coming out in 2025, are you really going to sit around with your PS5 and lose the power narrative?
Mm.
Or are you going to actually drop something that's going to be competitive in that arena? I think their decision, if they really are working on the PS5, well, there's your decision. They're going to go ahead and stay competitive as well. And in that sense, in the competitive in the hardware sense, not like a software sense, but in the hardware, to make sure that they aren't completely outclassed on the power narrative. They don't want to be like Nintendo. Well, Nintendo don't care, right?
Nintendo don't care. I don't know why people even thinking Nintendo really care about
but
this.
Sony cares, clearly. When you got Mark Cerny, with his monotone voice come out and do a whole, explanation on the PS5 architecture for like 40 minutes, clearly you care about power, and you care about pushing the envelope and making games look as good as possible. So yeah, they care about that, and they don't want to lose that completely to Xbox.
Right. I think, and the biggest thing, how does this affect? So it has been 3 years. It will be 3 years by the time this happens, if it does. Actually, 2014 will put it, 3 years. It came out in 2021. That's about the same length of time that it was between PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 4 Pro, 2013 to 2016.
I thought it came out in 2020. I thought the consoles came out in 2020.
End of 20. No, wasn't it 2021? End of
20? No.
Oh,
So it was end of 2020.
So it'll be 4 years by the time this happens. Then, so it's actually that would actually be longer than it was for PS4, the PS4 Pro. It'll be a year longer.
When did PS4 Pro come out? I thought that was
2016 because the X came out in 2017.
Oh yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah, I guess that would make a lot of sense. But actually, this would be kind of sticking with their cadence.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people, it's just the fact that people are still barely getting their hands on PlayStation 5s.
Yeah.
And you're already saying, hey, here's another one. Well, I don't think they're going to do it. I think that's why it's being reported that this won't be announced until 2017, because they got a lot of games that's coming. Well, not a lot of games.
It's 2017?
I mean, No, 2024.
Okay.
Yeah, the fact that this is coming to 2024 is because they got a lot of games. They got Spider-Man coming out the end of this year, so they're going to want to have people that's going to pick up PlayStation 5s. That's only, I think that game's only PlayStation 5 too. So I think they're going to want to have people jump over to PS5 and not wait for a pro version. So that's probably going to be another reason why they're going to hold off until early next year to announce something like that, which is still going to piss people off then, just due to the fact that they bought PlayStation 5s.
You see the damage I'm doing in this gameplay?
I see it. Is this
Good
game? Is this one or two? It's Division 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, Division 2, I didn't play a lot of. I played a lot of 1.
I'm telling you, that's not. But you find ways to keep some games relevant when they don't give you content.
Look, my man, he walked up and put a shield around you. I got you, bro.
But here's the funny thing is that, like, that's how looter shooters are. And I know we just went off topic for a little bit, but what can extend the life of a looter shooter, like the build that I'm running right now wouldn't have been possible without the latest update to drop like a new gear set. And so I'm using 3 pieces of a new gear set with some older pieces that, like, I think
is that for a meal?
Huh?
Was that a meal?
Oh yeah. All my shots are over $1 million.
God, you hitting for meals like that? Headshot meals?
Yeah. The most damage I did with one of my shots was like 22.5 million.
Man, they got some scaling issues in this game. It's 22 million to take off this thug's
and you know what? You know what? When I complete my build, I want like 50 million a shot, and I'm telling you, I am not ever going to do a build video on it, because the day you do a build video is the day the division devs go, oh,
yeah, that's
okay,
5.4 million right there. Good God.
That's when they go, okay, so we're nerfing. It's just like, stop nerfing stuff. I learned from Division 1 when I'd be like, man, like I'd be on the forums like, y'all gotta try this, man. 3-piece Hunter's Faith, 3-piece Century's Call, headshot damage through the roof. Nerfed a week later. What the? I'm like, you know what? All right, I ain't doing it no more. I'm not gonna publicize my build no more. I don't want nobody to know nothing. You see me in a dark zone and you get deleted and you think I'm cheating. Okay. Yeah. I'm not cheating.
Right.
I'm just doing a ton of damage.
So Slow-mo, how is this going to affect the Series S?
The series, I think I said
what
this.
Is Xbox going to do with this?
I said this when the Series S came out. I said the Series S is not going to be supported for a very long time. I said they're going to come out with new hardware, and they're going to announce when they announce the new hardware that they will be discontinuing the Series S before that new hardware launches. They're not going to support 3 different SKUs, especially when that one SKU is like severely underpowered compared to the other 2. I mean, like, there's already cases where the Series S is like struggling to do certain things, right? And so they're gonna. I've always said that the Series S would be very, very short-lived, and then their new entry level cheaper option would be the Series X. The Series X would be what the Series S currently is in a few years. It's going to be like $300. Hey, you want to just get in with something and be able to play everything fairly well? Here's the Series X. It'll do that. And then their next one, I'm going to keep calling it the Series V, because that's what I think is going to be the Series V. The Series V would be their new premium model, their premium SKU, where like this is the one that's doing all the latest and greatest. This is the one that's running on RDNA 5, full RDNA 5. I can't. Actually, I can't wait, because I couldn't stand all that talk from this community of like all the guys who don't know anything about hardware talk about hardware specs, for like literally like 3 hours of podcast of hardware specs. They're just annoying, but we're going to get back to that again, because that's what's going to happen as soon as they start talking about like showing hardware and showing the specs of things, and people are going to be Yeah.
See,
Anyway,
see, Fresh says it's going to end up in landfills.
oh,
Spider-Man
you're talking
said,
about the Series S.
yeah, Spider-Man says Series S does 120 frames per second. Stop it.
In certain games, sure. Yeah. But usually it's those games. And see, this when I say struggling with certain things, I'm talking about like not it doesn't do that for every game engine and every kind of game. In some games it does hit 120 frames per second, but typically they are like games that are either big AAA endeavors like Call of Duty. I think Call of Duty does run it in performance mode at 120. So does Halo Infinite, but that's a first party game. Like this is the kind of stuff that you'll see that with. But when you look at like say the Resident Evil 4 demo and the Series S isn't running Resident Evil 4 at all at 60 frames per second consistently, like it is what it is. It has its lane. Like I have a Series S, my son has a Series S. I only have a Series S to play some games with some friends who still have Xboxes, but the game isn't crossplay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't play primarily on it. I really don't play on it at all. But like my son it's his first console, so he has one. Like it's a demographic for it. But the kind of people that play games in this community, hardcore gamers, it really ain't for us. If you want to play Xbox games and don't want to play them on PC, get yourself a Series X that could actually like play games at 120 frames per second and not have as many limitations to get that done. Because even if you're on PC with a potato, the great thing about PC and its versatility is that you could play a game at 120 frames per second with a potato.
Good.
But you're going to have to lower a lot of settings and you're going to have to make a lot of sacrifices to get that done. So it's like there's a difference there. And so if you're to kind of get back to what we're talking about with like the next Xbox Series console and the PS5 Pro, bringing on that extra hardware is going to make it so that developers aren't going to have to learn all the ins and outs of these consoles the way they've had to do in the past to squeeze every bit of life out of it. I kind of feel like we won't see that the way we used to, because when you have new hardware out, like we see now, like there's some games that are still supported on the PS4 and Xbox One X, and I don't think there's the same attention to detail to make sure it runs at its very best on those consoles when their concurrent player base is getting smaller and smaller, and the things that you're trying to do with hardware is becoming more and more difficult to become achievable on those platforms.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I just think in general, I think Xbox thought it was a great idea. I still think it's a good idea that they made the system. A lot of people were always wondering why they didn't make the One X the entry system, but it was just on a different architecture. It was just underpowered because of that CPU. If they would have had if that would have had a better CPU in it, even if it wasn't as good as the Series S one is, if it wasn't a Jaguar chip, they probably would have stuck with that system and let that be an entry model to get people into just the Xbox ecosystem. Now, I do agree. I do think at some point you got to even think what they did with the all digital system. Remember the all digital S and how fast they moved away from that?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean that thing was yeah. I mean, how long did they support that?
I mean, they still support it. It's just you can't buy it anymore. You couldn't buy. I think they only a year, maybe 2 at most. I haven't seen. I've barely seen those things, but I also think that they understand that the majority of the people that have that system are people that don't really care about graphical fidelity and stuff like that. They mostly care about performance, and even did it in. And most of them don't even care about that. They just care that they got a new system that's able to play newer games and stuff. And I think by the time Xbox decides to pull the plug on that system, you're going to be probably at 2025. Because if they keep up the same cadence that PlayStation did, PlayStation will come out with the Pro next year. Then Xbox will follow in 2025. That would give them 5 years? 4 years. Yeah, 4 years. No, 5 years. They give them 5 years ever since they announced and released the Series S and X. And then they can just phase out the S and, like you said, make the X the entry level system. Maybe do the same thing they did with the X. They could take the disk drive out of it and make it a digital system. So that could lower the price on it too. So it's an entry model, but it's lower because it doesn't have a disk drive. And they'll probably always want to keep their higher tier system as the one that gives you everything, pretty much like PlayStation did. And I feel like they should have did that in the first place, like PlayStation anyway. Or maybe they'll adopt the same situation that PlayStation's looking at, where they're coming out with a dock that allows you with a separate disk drive that allows you to, if you want to have physical media, you just have to buy a attachment to make it work on it. It's a lot of different.
Let me address something that's in the chat real quick.
Go ahead.
So, some of the people in the chat are talking about how the Series S can play some games at 120 frames per second, and then Rob's is like, does the Series S play more games at 120 FPS than the PS5? I do not know, Erodimus, nor do I care, really. And Spider-Man 356 says there is no new hardware. That is false. There is quotes from Xbox leadership that they are working on new hardware. You should probably keep up, Spider-Man. But the point I'm saying about how I don't care if it does more 120 frames per second games than the PS5. In order to achieve that, they have to make more sacrifices to get that done. And because the hardware isn't as good as the PS5 hardware, that's the point. And what's the purpose of playing some games in 120 frames per second if you're playing at less than 1080p? Like, if you're playing on a 4K OLED, you want to play 120 frames per second on a Series S that's less than 1080p? I'm sure your eyes don't want to see that. So it's just like they're working on new hardware. We know they are. PlayStation is working on they're always working on the next thing.
Yeah.
And we want them to, because no one wants to see either of these companies get caught with their pants down, get caught not ready to provide better content and more hardware for the consumer. I know there's some people out there that just like, don't do this, and I don't want new hardware already, but I mean, it's not going the cell phone route or anything like that. But it's not going to be a console generation of one SKU for like 5 to 7 years. Like that, those days are over. Over. It's not happening. So it's just like when they make their announcements, people will have revisionist history and act like they knew it was going to happen, all along. It is what it is.
They knew it was going to happen. It's going to happen. It just comes down to people going to be ready for it when it happens. Cool. Well, PlayStation 5 Pro next year. Will you be getting one if they do release it next year?
Nope. I never got the PS4 Pro.
Oh yeah,
because
I didn't.
Yeah, and I remember Enrique was always like, "You'll get one eventually." No. Look, it's not my primary platform to play. So as long as it can play exclusive games that I can't play anywhere else at acceptable frame rates and not struggle, I don't feel the need to upgrade. So there's no guarantee that I won't get a PS5 Pro at some point.
Right.
But if the PS5 is still playing games at a minimum 60 frames per second for content that I'm not going to be able to get on PC until like a year later or something like that, then yeah, I'm good with it.
Cool. All right, moving on to the next topic. Xbox makes new cloud deals and refuses FTC request. So, Microsoft been throwing around a lot of deals lately, Slow-Mo. 10 year, you get a 10 year. You get a 10 year. We don't care if you are literally somebody that just walked off the street and put an LLC at the end of your name. If you have something to do that's going to help our case, you're going to get a deal. And I think it's ingenious, and I do not fault them for doing it. But I also don't fault Sony and the regulators wanting to see these numbers in these deals that Microsoft keeps refusing to give them. But Slow-Mo, just over the course of the last couple of weeks, with all the different move and everything going on with the ABK deal, we got to have at least one ABK deal inside of a episode, because if you don't, your show's going to be 20 minutes shorter. What are your thoughts on Microsoft at first, going after regulators for wanting them to, have Sony show the documents on their third-party deals and stuff, but now they are refusing the FTC's request to see all these deals that they're making when it comes to all of these 10-year deals that they're trying to sign with everybody to get this deal pushed through. So what are your thoughts on it? What?
Who's refusing the FTC's request?
Microsoft or Xbox.
They're refusing to. Okay, wait. Look,
you haven't seen this.
No, I did not know about that. Yeah. Now look,
they're refusing.
You can't
to turn
be
over,
out here.
They're refusing to turn over.
Hold on. You can't be out here demanding Sony show things. Demanding Sony show all their timed exclusive or exclusive contracts with third party developers, and then now getting approved to have all that shown up to 29 from all as far back as 2019. But then when they want certain deals that you've made shown, that you be like, look at that, get it. This is kind of like it's a battle here, for content, and you don't want to show your hand,
right?
And so if you can fight it and not have to show everything, but maybe only have to show a year or two, well, that's a battle well fought. But it just looks a little hypocritical to be like, show us all your timed exclusive deals. Oh, wait a minute. Hey, we don't want to show this. It's just like, I mean, at this point, everything is all on the table. And this is like the only thing that I'm really, really happy about seeing when it comes to this ABK deal and this stuff going to court and everything, is that it reminds me of what happened with Apple and Epic. And that was like the best part of the Apple Epic court case was all of the receipts getting exposed. All the emails between Xbox and PlayStation and all these other companies, and all the juicy stuff that they never expected would end up in the public forum was out there. And you really got to see how these people really speak and how they really care about the topics that come up in the gaming industry when there isn't a camera in their face and a PR exec in their ear telling them the right things to say and the right way to phrase things. So that's what I'm looking forward to. So bring it on. I want to see all this stuff. I want to see what Sony deals Sony got lined up. I want to see how they negotiate those deals. I want to see how they really feel about Game Pass. I want to see what Microsoft got planned. I want to see the details of these 10-year contracts. I want to see like if it's real parity here, if there are any stipulations whatsoever. I want to see how that stuff got negotiated. I want to see all of it.
I do. It's real interesting because it's like, just like the whole Epic versus Apple and all that stuff came out, and you found out about all of the dealings that Apple had, and then you found out about the crossplay tax from Sony because of all of those deals and stuff. It's real interesting. It's like I want to see this stuff, and Microsoft does not want. It's like they want to see everything, but they don't want to show anything, and I just find that interesting. Now, I'm not. The biggest thing for me is I like the back and forth that they're having. I like the the battlegrounds that they're sitting on because it's entertaining in that regard. I do like that part of it, but I do think it's real hypocritical to say we want to see all your stuff, but we're not showing you anything. And especially when it's something that can vitally benefit you. You don't think that the FTC is going to want to see all of these filings for all of these deals you're making? Like, why don't you want to show us? But it is what it is. I get it. It's overall going to be something that is it's going to take time. We still haven't seen, even though Sony has been ordered to turn over the documents for the third party dealings, that hasn't been done yet. Who knows how long it's going to take until we get to that situation.
They're going to wait until the last moment. They're going to wait until, because like what if say the CMA moves to deny the deal, and then what if say Microsoft chooses to back out of the entire acquisition, but you already showed the stuff that you were asked to show from the FTC.
Right.
It's like, if you know the deadline to show that stuff is later, don't show it until you absolutely have to.
Right.
And you got no choice. Then you show it. Because you never know what might occur before then that might help you out in your endeavor, because they like their goal is to block the deal. That's what they want. They want to block the merger. So if part of that is hiding as much as you possibly can, and so be it. And Microsoft's goal is to get the merger completed as quickly as possible so they can move on to other things they got planned, and as well as get all the benefits they can from this deal in terms of revenue and market share and yada yada yada. You're gonna, if they need to hide some things, they're gonna want to hide those things as well. It's just like, but I mean, no. The thing is that when it comes down to it, there is no good side here. There's no there's a lot of guys doing a lot of like, oh, how dare they do this or how dare they do that. Like these corporations ain't your friends, man. And this isn't a TV show where there's a good guy and there's a bad guy.
Right.
It's two corporations just trying to get as much influence and a much advantage against their competitor as possible. That's all it is.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest take. And the Anonymous says they don't want they don't want to show anything. Big Mambo says the FCC is trying to see ZeniMax stuff. I mean, the thing with ZeniMax, and I know it's just the fact that they say that they lied about it when it came to like the dealing with ZeniMax. They talked about how it would be a case-by-case basis, but the moment the deal went through, everything was exclusive to Xbox or wherever Game Pass exists. I mean, what do you think of that talking point when it comes to that? Do you think Microsoft lied about that? But I also go back to the point where everybody
they were not very clear before. Like, remember it being so much debate on what would happen, and there were people who, mostly PlayStation guys, that were, oh, it's going to be everywhere. They some of a lot of the same arguments they're making right now about ABK. Oh, it's going to be everywhere. Like, why would you not sell it on PlayStation? You spend all this money to not, spend it, not to recoup your money by putting it on the bigger platform. It's stupid. And then they went on ahead and did it. and then there were other guys that were just like everything would be exclusive.
Right.
And it's just when you really think about it, they were never fully clear on what they were going to do before the ZeniMax deal had completed. But there wasn't as much scrutiny as it is now because I I think in some ways, this is just my opinion. I think Sony also didn't believe that they would do what they did.
No,
Because if they did, I think they would have fought it a little bit harder.
they would have
And
thought that they
actually,
probably would have valued the fact that they needed to make as much, with those bigger IPs, that they didn't think that they would be willing to eat that much of the loss by not having them on PlayStation.
right. And so it's just, um, I recall the comment that was made about how I don't think the word legacy was said,
Oh no,
but essentially it was
legacy content, and yeah, that was one of the words.
but essentially what it meant was
Stuff that already existed.
everything that already existed would still be on
Like
PlayStation.
Fallout
And I think
76 and stuff like that.
right, in Elder Scrolls Online, but some people took that as, well, Fallout the IP has been on PlayStation before. So therefore, the Fallout 5 would be, when that eventually comes out, would be on PlayStation. And it's just like, that's not what they meant. But if you say things in a vague enough manner, then you can let multiple people have multiple interpretations of your words, and then you get as clear as possible when it actually closes. Even at one point, I remember Phil Spencer said multiple times, we can't really speak on what we're going to do because the deal hasn't
Because it
closed
hasn't
yet.
gone through yet.
But you notice how they're speaking about Call of Duty,
I was
and
going to just
they're
say that
speaking
to
in
you.
very definitive terms about this deal. But they legally we can't speak in definitive terms of what we're going to do with ZeniMax Media till it closes. Like, what, that talk is gone now.
Oh yeah.
But like, because I feel if he would have said what he said, that live stream, the Bethesda Xbox live stream,
Yeah. The round
where
table.
the round table where he said, um anything that has already been created, other ongoing games will continue to be supported on other platforms, but anything new will only be where Game Pass exists.
He would have got away.
That
They would have got away with that one.
Well, no, but look, if he would have said that prior to the deal being fully closed, I think he would have got a whole lot more pushback than what he got before that happened.
I just
Because, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I just feel like Microsoft should have. I mean, hindsight is 2020. They never knew that a deal like Activision was going to fall out of the heavens to them and be able to, purchase them for a steal. If that was something that I think they knew was going to be a possibility at a point, I think they probably would have ate the bullet on something like Starfield and just said, hey, these games are already announced for PlayStation. We're just going to leave them there. I think if they would have came out and just said all of the games that Bethesda that are already in development, that are already announced in development, will still stay on the particular platforms that they're already announced for, but anything in the future, on a case-by-case basis, could be Xbox exclusive only.
Yeah, he did say the case-by-case basis thing too,
Yeah.
which so far looks like
I haven't seen
there's
the
no
game. There's no case
by case basis.
There is no case by case. Everything is Xbox or PC.
Nothing with ZeniMax Media so far has been case by case basis.
No.
Maybe, and I'm saying, like, I don't know this for certain, but maybe Indiana Jones that Machine Games is working on. Because if you kind of look at it like,
but that's not. But that's a third. That's a license deal outside
exactly.
of Bethesda.
But that could still be considered case by case basis,
True.
even though it may have been just literally Lucasfilm Games that was like forcing it to be multi-plat because it's their license and it's what they want, or the deal was signed with ZeniMax prior to the acquisition. Who knows, right? But it's outside of Indiana Jones. I can't see. Look, like Hi-Fi Rush, Shadow Launch, definitely wasn't case by case with that one.
Nope.
Starfield, nope. Elder Scrolls 6, they already told y'all, nope. The only thing that I see going to PlayStation are the Elder Scrolls Online expansions and Fallout 76 content. And I think that's probably all they're going to get. And I think, and I said this a while ago, and I said that what's happening now with ABK is kind of similar to, say, I use this example of like somebody slapping you in the face, and then the very next day, when you see them again, you're like, you got a different body language with them because you ain't trying to get slapped again. So if you look at the first day one is Minecraft, and they acquired Minecraft and Mojang, and Sony called them and was like, "Are you taking it off the platform?" And they said, "No, we're not taking it off the platform." And they've been true to their word, so much so that even new Minecraft games show up on PlayStation. That IP, everything goes to PlayStation. So you're cool. So liking it to say, hey, I come by you, Forte, and I say what's up, and we shake hands, dap up, and we move on about our lives, right? But then the next day is me acquiring ZeniMax Media.
Mm-hmm.
And you expect, like last time with Minecraft, everything gonna be the way it was before.
Everything will be the way it was before, right?
But instead, I slapped you in the face and went on about my day. The third day, I'm acquiring ABK. You got a different perspective on my acquisitions now.
Mm-hmm.
You got a different perspective on how I do about my business. So when I walk up to you, you making sure that you be ready to defend yourself if I get into your personal space. And so, like, of course, they would kind of look at this as like, we're gonna fight this tooth and nail and try to not have the merger happen, because this is the biggest acquisition in the gaming industry, and we don't believe that you will do what you say you're going to do. Even though I do believe at this point, with this much scrutiny, they're absolutely going to fulfill every obligation.
Every obligation is going to get fulfilled in this.
Right. And if you look at some of these publishers that have spoken out, and the CMA has published their thoughts on it, the vast majority of the gaming industry also believes that Microsoft and Xbox will fulfill their obligations. But I can understand Sony feeling like, nah, because I kind of thought you was going to do ZeniMax Media the way you did Minecraft. But instead, you made it. Don't seem to be no case by case basis going on here. It just seems like it's all exclusive,
right?
So like it's understandable. It's understandable why both sides are doing what they're doing.
Yeah, but I want to ask you this, Slow-Mo. What is the real bottom line for Microsoft when it comes to the ABK deal? What are they really trying to accomplish here?
They're trying to accomplish,
in your opinion, the main thing they're trying to accomplish here.
The main thing they're trying to accomplish here is they want a bigger piece of the pie.
Which pie, though?
All of it.
Okay.
Because ABK is involved in all of it. King, mobile, Blizzard, PC and console, Activision, PC and console. Getting this puts them so much closer to the bigger they're literally up there neck and neck with Sony and Tencent.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they want. They want a bigger market share. And this gives them a much bigger market share. And in areas where they haven't been able to push further in.
Mm-hmm.
And when the marketing deal ends, this deal goes through. The marketing deal ends next year.
Yep.
The biggest game in the console market is going to be marketed the Xbox. Mm-hmm. And although there are a lot of people that are just like, oh, well, no one's going to switch over. Like, just because you won't switch over doesn't mean other people won't switch over. just because you aren't going to stop playing on PlayStation doesn't mean that someone who literally does not have any loyalty to PlayStation whatsoever.
Yep.
They play the game on PlayStation because there's perks to playing the game on PlayStation. Period.
Right.
That guy who feels he can get used to playing the game on the Xbox controller. You know, like if it's time to get new hardware, he may not do it in 2025 or 2026.
This is a power
but
move for the next generation.
right. This is a long-term play in a lot of different areas, as well as data. The information that Activision has, like you're developing a game on your competitor's platform. You're getting like when the next think about it, when the next dev kit comes out.
Who's gonna get one
for the PS5 Pro? Guess who's getting a dev kit?
Remember that was
Microsoft.
the conversation about MLB when MLB was coming over. Everybody was like, "Oh, what is Santa Monica Studios got a dev kit?"
Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the conversations. Shout out to Everborn Saga with the $5 super chat. He said, "Fun fact: the real purchase price of ABK is $56.7 billion because ABK has $12 billion in cash in the bank."
Interesting.
That's what's up. Shout out to, let me see, where is it? Oh, there it is. Apex says, but Bethesda only released 3 games while under Xbox: Hi-Fi Rush, Starfield, Redfall. You can't every big game from Bethesda to a multi-plat. No, I agree. I mean, the biggest thing is with that, I just wish that Microsoft, if they would have released one of those games, maybe they would have said Starfield was going to stay as a PlayStation, not exclusive, but PlayStation game that would be on both sides. They probably would have a little bit less pushback from regulators when it came to this, because they probably took the biggest game that Bethesda was making at that time and left it as a multi-plat. I just think most of this was just due to the fact that Microsoft just never expected to find themselves having the opportunity of purchasing Call of Duty. But I also think the biggest prize of this is Call of Duty is just the Trojan horse. And I was talking, and shout out to Randall Thor 19, a man with the meal. I was talking to him earlier today on the phone, and we were just talking about, how everybody's just the misdirection.
Look at this name dropper over here. Look, man. I was just, shout out to Rand.
Listen, he got.
I was talking to him on the phone. Me and him are that close. I was talking to him on the phone.
I say your name. Pause. I say your name all the time too, and I say I talk to you.
I'm a nobody. I'm a nobody.
You're a nobody.
I'm a nobody in this gaming industry.
Oh my
man.
God, Slow-Mo, you are somebody. you always are somebody. But I was talking to him, and we were just talking.
I'm a somebody in Call of Duty. You see, I'm bodying people.
That's what I'm talking about.
But as far as
Rand can only dream to do what you're doing in Call of Duty, so you got to beat there.
let me not. People will think I'm arrogant.
You are arrogant, sir.
I am not. I am very, very humble.
You are not
extremely humble.
One thing you are not is level-headed when it comes to first-person shooters.
Every now and then I get a good game and I record it. That's just what happens.
And he has a 1 terabyte hard drive or more full of stuff just like this.
Kind of true.
Yeah, kind of true. But but no, outside of that, man, I was talking to him, and the biggest thing that we kept taking back from this is just that people just don't understand that the main focus of this deal is, and I agree with you, it is to get a bigger market share in all of these different areas.
It's all of it, man. Like people keep focusing on COD and like, what if it caused a problem to take COD out? No, they absolutely. If COD's not there, it's not a deal. But then also, if King's not there, it's not
really
a deal.
Not a deal if King's not there.
It's like they want all of it, and it may not all be equal. They may not equally want all of it, and maybe COD is the most precious jewel in the entire bucket here, but they want all of that, and they're not trying to give any of it up. They're not divesting anything, which is what the CMA prefers, that they divest some of this, and they're not going to divest anything. I don't think they care to do that. Which, if I was them, I wouldn't try to divest it either. But that might end up being the reason why this ends up not happening, because they won't divest. But I still contend that at this point, to me, I think it's like a 50-50 thing, and I think the CMA may move the block or deny it, whatever.
Yeah,
and
whatever
methods they take from there is on them. Although I do kind of feel like they have very limited options when it comes to the CMA versus what they can do with FTC or the EU. But it is what it is. I just kind of don't care about this topic.
Rodolfo says Sony didn't sign the deal. Sony hosts the Xbox, keeps the games there or parity. They already got Deathloop and Ghostwires. So the first 3 AAA games that come from Bethesda, Xbox needs to come.
But they also kind of believe parity to be. They also kind of believe parity to be like not putting it in Game Pass,
which is the dumbest thing in the world.
Because they said that, like, if I think they said something like if it's in Game Pass, but it's not, and it's in their subscription service, but not ours, that's like a de facto exclusive, and it's like, so just because you don't want. Like basically you don't want them to market it on Xbox. You don't want them to put it in the subscription service. You don't want them to do anything with it that you can't do with it. But for years, you have been getting perks for your platform that Xbox have not had any chances to partake in. You've had demos earlier, varying time periods. You've had all kinds of perks that for your community that isn't possible on any other platform.
Hogwarts Legacy has literally stuff in the game that you can't get on Xbox.
So, no, I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about strictly just Call of Duty.
No, I'm just talking about just deals. I mean, because it always goes back to just all the other deals that they made. Like the fact that you can't even, like some of these games, they can't even talk about there being an Xbox version of it. You can't.
And they pay for that.
And they pay for that.
They pay for that, and I think that's smart marketing.
It is smart marketing, but you can't. But my whole thing is when shout out, somebody said it in the chat. I forget who it was, but he said, I think it was Apex Predator said it. It might have been him. Somebody else might have said it too. But he was talking about how I find it crazy that when you buy something, people get mad at you for trying to make it exclusive if you own it. It's the craziest thing ever. Like, I understand the back and forth in the overall conversation about if the deal should happen, but if the deal goes through, you shouldn't be dictating what I do with the deal. The deal is them to let it go through, and if it goes through, I get to do what I want. And if we have concessions along the way that I have to abide by, absolutely, that's fine. But I like not being able to put it in Game Pass. But guess what? I would have been so petty to be like, okay, you know what? I can't put it in Game Pass, or I can put it in Game Pass, but it has to be parity, and I got to put it in PlayStation, whatever their premium service is that gives it to them there too. I thought Sony said that they needed the revenue from Call of Duty. So,
they do.
So if games,
they really don't want to put it. They do not want to put it in PS Plus. They don't want to
put it in there. So
they want the straight up money. So that the revenue that comes in off the sales.
What if Microsoft did that?
Well, I mean, they can't force them to put it in PS Plus.
No, that's what I'm saying. But how does Microsoft say, yeah, we'll put it in PlayStation Plus? You think PlayStation is going to...
No, they don't want that. No.
That's what I'm saying. So what is the argument going to be at that point? Like I mean, at that point, you're pulling a red herring and trying to see what happens.
If the deal goes through, when it comes down to it, it's going to be on Game Pass. I don't think it's going to be on PS Plus.
Oh no, unless the regulators is part of the concession. But I don't think Sony would want it.
But they can't force Sony to take it in PS Plus.
No, like, Sony would just say no, just release it on our platform. They wouldn't.
Right.
They wouldn't want it in there.
Yeah, they I don't think they would care to have it in PS Plus because it's just going to cannibalize
their sales anyway.
That word. Yeah, the sales of the game on their platform. They want the sales on the platform. That's what they want. Even though they're getting less than the typical 30% that the platform holder gets for having a game released on their platform with Call of Duty. That was stated by Lulu Sheng a little while ago, maybe a few weeks ago, in regards to what the current deal is with marketing with PlayStation. So shrewd negotiators Activision seems to be. Like, I don't know how much smaller the cut is, if it's 20%, 15%, whatever,
Right.
but they want that money. In addition to, they want the microtransactions, which are probably massive, that come through uh Warzone and the annual releases. So
Right.
yeah, they
Well,
they 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 value that far more than a subscription to PS Plus, which is the opposite for Xbox. Xbox values their subscriptions to Game Pass far more than just a single sale. So
that's true. So moving on to the second to last topic, let's talk about excuse me. Let's talk about Diablo 4. The beta. What is the actual beta? Is it tomorrow? The open beta? Or is it the closed beta and the open beta is next week or something?
I feel like there's a close.
The closed
Tomorrow
beta is
is
the closed beta, right?
Exo Mecha has an open beta tomorrow.
Okay.
Diablo 4. Let me take a look at Diablo
I
4
I have
beta.
access to it because I just can't remember if I have access to the closed or the whichever one I have.
It is tomorrow. You're right.
Oh, it is
It
tomorrow. So
is.
I'll definitely be in there
Yeah.
tomorrow. Be in there tomorrow.
Now I'm
Chef's
getting
kiss.
Diablo 4.
Absolutely.
I'm very much against pre-orders. I don't like paying for things early for something that I don't have I can't enjoy yet.
Right.
But if let me know how it is. If it's as good as I think it's going to be, I'll go ahead and do it, just because I'm going to get it regardless, right? So I'll just go ahead and do the pre-order then and jump in there. Arcade, shout out to Arcade. He said open beta is next week. So hey,
Next
you
week.
know
Yeah.
what? If it's an open beta, never mind. I'm not now. I'm going back to that pre-order.
Yeah, you
I'll
don't
just
have to
wait for the
pre.
open
You only have
beta.
to pre-order to get into the closed beta for the first week. That's why, because I already had bought it, so I just couldn't remember if it was this week, like tomorrow, or if it was next week. So yeah, just wait, I might stream it.
Yeah.
I might stream it tomorrow. It's gonna be fun, man. I can't wait for Diablo. That's like literally, but that's just part of the conversation, the beta. Good to know that you're going to jump in there when the beta does go live. But there's been a lot of conversations going back to the other side of the ABK deal, with Diablo being a Blizzard IP. A lot of people have been
Right.
wondering, if this deal goes through, is it going to Game Pass? It is the closest of the ABK games that's coming out, which is in June. And it's a good chance that if this deal does happen, I think Microsoft did say that they expected the deal to close before the physical year of this year, which will be right around that time. A lot of people are speculating that it would hit Game Pass, but good old Rob Ferguson was like,
And he shut that down.
we ain't got there. He said, "No, man, go out there and buy the game because we ain't got nothing."
The way he worded that tweet, I just laughed. It was like,
he was like, "Nah, bro, go buy the game. We ain't got nothing
nah,
to say when it comes to that."
ain't going in no services. Go buy a game, man. Appreciate you. All right now.
Now the funny thing is, to be for real here, even if the deal does go through, people are gonna probably come on Rob Ferguson and say it's like, "Oh, he lied to us and stuff," but he
Oh
really
no. This is. I'm gonna tell you what this is. This is very similar to other cases where it's really a for now thing. He just didn't say for now.
Yeah.
Look, the deal's not done yet,
You can't,
and it could potentially it not go through. You can't go say, he can't be like, yeah, it's going into Game Pass, when the only reason it would go into Game Pass is if the acquisition is completed and they put it in Game Pass because Microsoft owns it.
right.
What if he says it's going into Game Pass? Somebody out there can say, well, I bought the game off the strength of you saying that was going. I mean, I bought an Xbox and got a Game Pass subscription off the strength of you saying it was going into Game Pass, but now it's not. Like, you can't say that. So he literally is just following the playbook here.
Mm-hmm.
As of now, there is not going to any subscription services, but we all know how first party is for Microsoft. That will definitely change if the acquisition is done.
Right.
So, like he literally just can't say any differently right now. Still there?
Oh no, I'm here. I thought you were saying something else. No, I it was just interesting. It was funny to me when I saw the title. Shout out to Enrique. Death Proof says shush with that bad voodoo. It's going through. I still think the deal's going to go through. I mean, I'm down from my 70-30 to probably 55-45 on it now, just due to, I always felt like this. It comes down to what Microsoft's willing to do. If Microsoft's willing to fight for it and they're willing to keep putting up that fight, it's going to go as long as they want it to go. But it's a crapshoot at this point now. But if they keep doing what they're doing and keep with all the, I think Microsoft's going to put their own concessions on themselves at a certain point. Whereas a lot of the stuff that the regulators and stuff are talking about are going to be like kind of non and void to them, because they're going to be like, well, they're giving us everything that we want. It just ultimately comes down to, do you trust Microsoft at this point? But when it comes to Diablo, listen, guys, let's be for real here. I hear this way too much in this community. Is it coming to Game Pass?
Yeah.
Why are we doing, like, if it's like, I understand.
Do you want the game?
Yeah, if you want to play the game, like, I'm not waiting for Game Pass for this game. It's like, would it have been cool to know that Diablo was in Game Pass and I didn't have to buy it? Absolutely. That would have been great. Guess what? That's me saving $70 on a game. But if I know it's a game I want to play, because I played every Diablo game ever since they came out from launch, I'm not going to wait for it to hit a service. But I hear a lot of people, when something's announced or something's talked about, hey, is it coming to Game Pass? No, if it's coming to Game Pass or not, you should be looking at the game in the vein of, is it a game that I want to play? Am I willing to purchase this game to buy it? If you're saying, is it coming to Game Pass, that almost sounds super disrespectful, because it's like, why are we saying that Game Pass, the only reason I'm playing the game is because I'm not interested in the game and I'll be interested if I don't have to pay for it? Then that basically says that game, if you had to buy it, you weren't going to play it.
Well, I would say I wouldn't say it's disrespectful. I think it's more along the lines of, it's kind of hard to say, because it's like I look at Game Pass gaming as more of like, almost like the waiting for a sale.
Yeah, it is.
Because like if it's a game that you would only play because it's in Game Pass, then more than likely, if it wasn't in Game Pass, you were not going to buy it.
You were not going to buy it.
And if you were going to think about buying it, it was one of those things where, you know what, on Black Friday, I got you. I'll pick it up, and then I probably won't play it even then. But still, I'll pick it up, and if I have the free time, I'll check it out. With Game Pass, you don't have to wait till Black Friday. You can try it out without actually having to play it, right? I mean, spend the full price on it. But what you're talking about are people who are interested in the game, or at least they put on the impression that they are fully interested in the illusion that they're really fully interested in the game. But then they don't want to buy it because of Game Pass. Now, these people are cappers. These are people who really weren't trying to play the game anyway. And they really seem to be far more invested in the success of Game Pass than they are their enjoyment of video games.
Mm-hmm.
And so if everything that you care about is about what's in Game Pass, and you're going to deprive yourself of a good experience until it shows up in Game Pass, I mean, look, hey, look, that's you and that's your wallet and that's how you choose to do things. But I'm like, I don't understand it.
Right.
It's just weird to me because I don't wait for anything. You know, the only time I've waited for to play a game really was kind of like the Last of Us Part 1
Mm-hmm.
coming to PC. When they said it was coming to PC, I was like, well, I ain't gonna pick it up because I'm not even all that interested in playing through for the third time the same game.
Right.
But you know, when it comes on PC and I can play that like over 100 frames per second, all right, cool. I'll pick it up then because I don't know it'll also be cheaper. It's like getting it on a sale, except it's the definitive edition. But like Final Fantasy 16, Final Fantasy 7 remake when it came out on PS4, even though everyone was under the assumption, unfortunately, that it was going to hit Xbox at some point, what do I care?
True.
It's coming out on PlayStation, and I'm buying it on PlayStation. Final Fantasy 16 is coming out on PS5. I am there day one on PS5. I'm not waiting for games that I want to play. So I do not understand, like Diablo 4, whether it shows up eventually on Game Pass, like whether the story changes, the narrative changes on whether it's going to Game Pass at launch happens before its launch date, its release date, it matters not to me. If it's not on Game Pass day one, I'm spending the full price for it.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. If it is on Game Pass day one, well then cool. I will install it on Game Pass, and I'm still going to enjoy the game, regardless of how I paid for it or how I got it. I'm still enjoying the game. The people who will deprive themselves of of the game experience that they want to play, it just I don't know. I got very little in common with them, I guess.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was looking at this gameplay from Gotham Knights, and I was looking at the room that you were in, the building you were in, and I just kept thinking that if this was Spider-Man, you would have cleared this room by now.
Right. If I was Spider-Man, yeah, the combat the combat in this game is not compared to Spider-Man whatsoever. But I mean, it's okay. It's enjoyable. It's just it's not.
It's so slow.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this like it's like when I see a game like this, it's like because it has
All the movements are very deliberate. And
yeah.
yeah. It's just yeah.
Yeah,
And this whole part, like me and my buddy was playing, and my buddy was like, "Yeah, we gotta get out of here. These daggone cops ain't going down." And I was just like, "No, we were like low level as a mother. It's like they got all this body armor. They shooting shotguns at us and everything, and it's just like, man, I think we were probably about level 6 or something like at this point. We just came out of that mission, and I was like, I'm still messing around with them, and I'm like, I just want to knock out one of them. But they just refuse I mean, like now I'm a little bit stronger level. I think I'm like level 11 or something like that. I could probably now taking on this many of them and beating them all, but I could probably do close. But yeah, I mean, the combat in this game is not on par with like some of the more popular superhero titles that are out.
Yeah, I get it. Shout out to Everborn Saga with the $5 super chat. He says, I'm not in the business of throwing my money away unnecessarily. I haven't pre-ordered Diablo 4 before the deal might close, but I will buy it day one if not. Hey, listen.
And that last part is why I got no problem with that.
No problems with it.
I was like, it's the people that well, I'm not getting it because it's not in Game Pass. Those are the people that I'm like,
yeah,
I'm looking at you kind of side eye, but that's fine. Like that's what I'm doing. I'm not buying. I'm not pre-ordering the game. I don't do pre-orders like that. So especially when you got like, a lot of these platforms be trying their best not to give you the money back if you change your mind on the pre-order. I remember pre-order last time I did a pre-order. I pre-ordered Control on PlayStation, and when Control came out, it was shutting PlayStations down.
I remember we did a topic on that.
I was like, no, sir. I will not play this game on PlayStation. And then I think I just No, I did. I didn't. I hadn't built my PC yet. I was in the process of putting it together, but I got it on Xbox and just played it on Xbox instead. And then I did. At when I built my PC, I bought it on PC and I beat it on PC. But like the amount of people I saw that had a problem trying to get the refund done. And it's like, oh well, the game had already installed or some crap, and or it was, I can't remember everything that was going on. I was very lucky that I was able to get my pre-order refunded, and I'm just like, man, I'm just not in the business of doing pre-orders no more. Just like I would much rather, and I'm very big on performance. The one thing that will make me not play a game at launch that I'm hyped for is it performs like crap. If it's a trash performance and it's making it damn near unplayable for me, I'm not getting it at launch. And I don't want to pre-order a game and then be like, oh man, now I'm stuck with this game that I don't even want to play because I can't play it at 60 frames per second, minimum. Like nah, fam, I'm good. So
Right.
I just don't do pre-orders no more. I think we do ourselves a disservice when we do that because we're giving them money and they haven't quite earned it yet.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that's the like I said, if it wasn't for the fact I stopped pre-ordering a long time ago. I only pre-order the things that I know that I am going to pick up. Like right now, I only have, I believe, 2 games on pre-order. I have Diablo 4 on pre-order, and I have Zelda on pre-order. And that's the only ones I got because I know I'm going to get those games. Joe, aka Flame, says not trying to undermine slow mo. He said he's playing the new Warframe expansion in April. Anyways, just saying people got $10 to $15 laying around, but not like 140 to 110 for every recent release. But if they do have the money, yeah, that's cap. I agree with that. And
I do agree with that.
and the Death
And
Proof.
but I'm gonna say this:
Yeah.
Forte need a shot. I like Flame. Flame and Flame is a Warframe
I know.
fan. So he's definitely a okay in my book. But I think you need to stop repeating everything they say in the chat unless they're gonna super chat you.
Oh, well, okay. Well, I mean, I like to read the chat too. Okay.
I'm just saying.
All right. Well, there is a button
Support
down
the
there.
brother.
There is a button down there. If you
Hit
want
the like button.
if you want
and
to
sub to the channel if you haven't subbed to yet.
Yeah. So if you want to be a 10%er and get the little 10% bash next to your name, shout out to the people that done it. We shout those people out at the end of every show, and you get access to the Discord. It's always a great time. But with that, slow mo, let's move over to the last topic. Atlas Falls. We've been ever since we saw it, Slow. I know you've been excited. I saw the gameplay. Let me get that up on the screen. I saw the gameplay for it today in the trailer, and it looked pretty nice. What was your thoughts on the gameplay that you saw, Slomo?
It looks good. Look. Okay, so Atlas Fallen, when it was first shown, I was like, "Yo, what the heck is this? This looks awesome." But then I was trying to like reserve my excitement because then it was also like I'm seeing way too much CG and not enough gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how I am with that. It's like, I'm cool with a nice trailer, but until I see gameplay, I'm, whatever. And they showed a little bit of a gameplay at the end, and I was like, bet. That looks pretty cool, but I need to see more than that because I've been fooled before. I've been fooled by a very well edited, put together trailer that has spliced the best parts of a gameplay possible, and then the rest of the game is absolute dog water. I'm like, nah. I'm not trying to fall for it. But what? Look, I like what I see. I like what I see from this. I am quietly excited, just quietly excited. So I'm definitely interested on this, and if it continues to look good, this definitely is a day one for me. What about you?
Yeah, why won't you give people why won't you give people a synopsis of what the actual game is? Because a lot of people probably have never even heard of this freaking game.
Well, I don't know much about the
No
game
one knows anything
myself.
about it other than the
I
fact that it looks
mean,
cool, and
I
it
mean,
comes out
like,
in 2 months.
yeah. Well, actually, I had no idea that it was coming out this soon. I thought it was later in the year that it was supposed to be coming out. But they first showed it last year, and it's an action RPG. Um, the combat seems to be very vertical with I mean, we're very like flashy moves that you can do. I think it looks very fast paced to me with a lot of like different varying abilities and different elements. I don't see, this is why I said I'm quietly and like confident, not confident, but like quietly excited for it because I don't know fully what kind of game it's going to be quite yet. It's an action RPG, but I want to know more about how the gameplay works, how the systems work. I don't want it to be like, again, they showed us the very best of the combat, but then when you play the game, you kind of feel like, oh, but this is kind of janky, or some of these systems aren't balanced very well, or just various other issues that might arise from it. So I'm still kind of like I'm excited for it, but I'm still also kind of like I still need to see more.
Right, I'm with you. I am with
Because like even the first trailer, like I don't know what the heck is going on here. Like it's just
you.
there's a woman and she was walking with some people and there's a bridge and there's a guy and then some monster shows up and then they attack the monster and it looked real cool. But like, what's happening here? I have no idea. It's like, why are there monsters?
Yeah.
Why is the world so like desolate? What's really happening? But it looks good. Like I said, it looks good, and I'm willing to give it a shot as usual. So I like it though. What are your thoughts on it?
No, from what I saw of it, I was like, yo, this looks actually really cool. And I remember seeing it last year. It's like, yeah, I definitely want to see more of what this is. I like the verticality. I like the overall like scope. Like it looks huge. The draw distance
Mm-hmm.
look really cool. Definitely a game that I'm going to play on PC. Definitely ain't getting played and it's on no console. This is definitely getting played on the PC. Could I just see that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Come
this
on now.
yeah, definitely a
Come
PC
on, that.
game. You can,
I mean, look.
certain games when you see them, it's like, yeah, I'm not playing this on nothing but a PC.
Well, I mean, unless you had no choice,
Unless you had no choice, exactly. Unless you have
why
no
would
choice.
you, when you have a high-end PC, not play the game there? I mean, let's be for real.
Remote Rail says, "Oh man, if this is the game, I might get up and fire my Series X. Looking promising."
Shout out to Ramon. I'm reading Ramon's book, by the way, and it's good. I like his book so far. I gave him a little feedback, like I felt the opening. If he doesn't mind me saying this, I felt like the opening, like prologue, reminded me of the opening prologue of Game of Thrones.
Oh,
It's
really?
it's really good. Yeah, I like it so far.
Yeah.
But shout out to Ramon.
Erodimus, it's no boo. Listen, I'm gonna play it on. I'm gonna get it on. More than likely, I'll end up having it on Xbox too. But if I want to play that game serious and actually not gouge my eyes out, I gotta play it on PC. Got to.
Yeah.
You got to. But
I mean, it's the only place that you'll be able to play it at over 100 frames per second, and it not look like a blurry mess on the
Right.
screen.
Right. So slow mo.
Yo, what's up?
Before I let you out of here, I got something I want you to see. Something that I don't know how you're gonna feel when you see it, but
As long as it's not Destiny, I'll probably be fine.
no, it's not. Oh, let me scale this. I'm on camera, so
Do you have multiple
Capture card?
sources?
Yes.
No, OBS.
I
Because
do.
the reason why I don't have to resize things is that I have a source for each resolution.
Oh yeah,
So I
no,
have a
I
source
do.
for 1080p, 1440p, and 4K. So I just take the file and
There it is.
I know what resolution the file is, and then I put it in the source, so I never have to rescale.
Oh yeah, I need to. I did that, but I don't know why I didn't do it. I meant to do it for this, but I got something I want you to see. So slow mo. You
Uh-huh.
know what this is, right? Let me move this up. So you know what this is, right?
I'm waiting for it to see it.
You know what that is. As soon as it
It's blurry. Okay, the
focus,
the series controller.
focus.
Yeah,
Okay, this thing doesn't. Oh, there you go.
yeah.
Look what I have here.
You got the what should we call it? The
Slow mo, slow mo, slow mo.
okay.
This thing, this this thing is so good.
The DualSense
This
Edge.
this is so good, bro.
Is it better than the
Whew, it's so good.
is it better than the Xbox controller?
The only thing that makes the
Is
Xbox
it better than the Elite?
the only thing the only thing that makes it not as good as the Elite to me
Mm-hmm.
is the fact that it doesn't have. I mean, thumbstick placement is personal preference.
Right. That's not I mean, that's everyone's personal preference is going to
Yeah,
be offset or symmetrical. So whatever. That's
yeah.
not really like yeah.
But it only has 2 paddles instead of 4. Now, if you're a person that only uses 2 paddles, then
I only used to, so
yeah.
that wouldn't bother me with
But
one
I
bit.
just hate the fact that the controller costs more and you can't do anything about that. You're stuck with what they give you basically when it comes to that. I need to turn that back on. There it is. But
Hmm.
yeah, but the controller, slow-mo. No lie. That controller feels good, bro. That
Hmm.
battery life sucks though. I will say that.
Well,
Battery
I
life's
go
terrible.
I go back to what I said before about these kind of controllers. Why would you get a pro premium controller that is designed for competitive play and then play wireless?
Yes, and that's the other thing I was gonna say
It makes
because it
no
makes
sense
no sense. It
whatsoever.
makes no
I
sense.
I did not know what the battery life was on the Elite controller until you told me a couple of podcasts ago. I had no idea. I have never played it.
Without the cable plugged into
Yeah,
it.
I, I don't want none of that latency. I'm
Nope.
I have no idea what it's like. And even when I use the DualSense controller on my PC, it's USB-C to USB-C. I'm no kid. I don't want any latency. And if look, and you're like, oh, but I sit real far away from my TV, then get a long cable. What's the problem here? There are solutions to this. And I, from what I recall, what comes with that DualSense Edge is a long
Oh, it's a
USB-C
10. Oh,
cable.
it's long. It's 10 feet, bro.
So I don't see what the problem. Like, why are people even talking about battery life? Like, I don't know what y'all doing. I feel like y'all just wasted y'all money. Y'all should have just stuck with a regular DualSense then.
Yeah, it literally like I will say it feels just like a PlayStation 5 controller, a DualSense controller, because
Hmm.
it's literally a DualSense controller. Slightly heavier, but not. It doesn't like if you like hold a regular Xbox Series S and X controller compared to the Elite
Hmm.
controller, you can feel the weight difference. It's
Hmm.
not as significant as it is on Xbox, where you can feel like the Xbox controller is heavier, way heavier. There's a slight weight difference. Battery is whatever, because if I just like you said, keep the thing plugged in and you're fine. I really like the trigger stops and stuff on this one. I really do like them a lot. I like the being able to switch the modes on the fly. The only thing I really don't like is the fact that any headset that's plugged into the headphone jack, not headphone jack, if you have a wireless headset, you cannot adjust the volume through the controller. You have to do it either from the headset or in the menu. The only way you can adjust volume through the controller is if you have a headset that's plugged into the controller, which I was like, that kind of
Huh?
sucks. Like,
But I mean, but wouldn't you have a headset that can adjust? Like every headset I have can adjust the
just
volume
right on the
from the
headset.
headset.
Well, it's
Yeah.
just it's like because the Xbox Elite controller, it gives you every Xbox controller, it gives you the ability to turn down volume, like game volume, inside the game, where this controller doesn't give you that ability.
Yeah.
So it's like little small things like
That's,
that.
yeah, that's very small things.
Yeah, little
Yeah.
small things like that, but I like it comes with the really cool thing about the controller I like a lot is the being able to switch out the modules. So if you just have to get a stick drift on your left or right module for your thumbstick,
Mm-hmm.
just go into the store and buy new ones, and you got pretty much a new controller.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. I still bought the warranty on this, by the way, because I don't trust $200 controllers.
As you should. Like, and I've seen some people say, well, that say they prefer the DualSense Edge over the Elite because the Elite has durability issues. And I'm like, you really can't say that about the DualSense Edge yet
It ain't
because
been
the
enough
DualSense
time.
Edge it ain't been out long enough. Like every Edge controller, not Edge, every Elite controller is amazing and holding up very well 2 months into its life cycle.
Right.
No matter how hard people play on it, but how long how's it going to be in a year? And yes, you do get to switch out the thumbsticks in case they develop stick drift. But what about your bumpers? What if your
Oh no,
bumpers
no,
break? Like,
that's why you buy
yeah,
warranties.
right. That was like an issue with the Elite controller. Elite version 1 was the bumpers were really flimsy. And so though people had to get those replaced. With my first Elite controller, I had my first one for only a year before I had the warranty and I switched it out because the USB port started malfunctioning, and so it wasn't transferring data correctly to the game anymore, and it was like I'm pressing buttons and the buttons I'm pressing aren't registering and it's doing completely opposite things. And it was all messed up. And I was like, you know what? It's done. So I had to go switch it out and get another one. So like those are the kind of things that you can't replace on the Elite. I'm sorry, I keep saying the Elite. The DualSense Edge. So
Yeah.
we don't know if those things will or will not be a problem or not. So we can't really talk to durability of it quite yet. But it seems to be a very very high quality controller.
It
If
feels
I
nice.
if I was someone who was all about symmetrical dual sticks, I probably will already have one. But as of now,
yeah.
like when I use a DualSense on the PS5, of course, and I also will use it on PC when I'm playing PlayStation games. So when I play Returnal, I'm gonna play Returnal with my DualSense. But I just don't feel when I play shooters, I always use my Elite. And I like the way the triggers feel with the Xbox controller more than PlayStation controllers as well as the offset thumbstick. So yeah, if I'm gonna spend on the money on a premium controller, that's the kind of one I'm gonna go with.
Oh yeah, because I feel like this is your everything controller, your last controller. Like people kept asking like, why'd you buy that controller? I was like, because I'm gonna literally get rid of all of my PlayStation 5 controllers except for this one and the one that came with the system, because I will never use the standard controller ever again. Because I never will use it ever again.
There's some games that like I got caught. I would have to fight the muscle memory to not use the bumpers because I've kind of like I've created a profile for the like for example with Halo Infinite. I use the bottom right bumper to melee. And so I'm so used to doing that. I would need to it would take me a number of matches to just get it out of my muscle memory to not use that. In Road Company, I use the bumpers to dodge roll. And you look at my gameplay, I'm dodge rolling all over the place.
Yeah.
It makes me very, very hard to hit. and that's like I would need to like really kind of like change up the controller scheme in order to accommodate playing those games, just those games. Because
Yeah.
even though in Call of Duty I use one bumper, it's really only to mantle, and not mantle, but the kind of um like if you're up against a corner and they kind of lean over a corner to shoot at someone, that kind of deal. That's the only time
Yeah.
I use it. But like those shooters are the only games that I really use it for, and I use
Yep.
those bumpers for. Everything else, I could use the standard controller for everything
Yeah,
else.
I
So,
could too. I also like I tried playing God of War with it, and I was like, yo, this feels good. Especially when you're doing like a lot of the charge attacks. When you gotta charge at the Leviathan axe or something like that. Feels
mhm,
good being able to charge it instead of hit and hold with one. You can hit and hold one of the buttons on the back and let go so you can get your combos off a little bit easier. Be a little bit
mhm,
more precise with parrying is really cool too. Cause I have my block on one of the triggers on the back.
mm.
So yeah, it literally significantly makes parrying so much easier. And that's what I'm kind of
That I might need to do that with Wolong because, like,
oh yeah, that would be a
man,
good one for it. Yeah, for
I
parrying.
I find so Wolong. Everyone keeps telling me like I am not the best at parrying. Like I think I overthink it sometimes, and I need to just be a bit more fluid with it and just
Mm-hmm.
not think too hard on it. But I find it a little. I haven't played Wolong in like a week and a half because I've been too busy playing Fire Emblem Engage. When I normally would be playing Wolong, but um, you gotta hold the left, either L1 or the left bumper to block, and a lot of people that are like having the best time with Wolong, they are holding the block when they do their parry. And for them, it's like if I miss the parry, well, at least I got the block
Right.
up there. And then when the unbreakable attacks come, like you're not blocking an unbreakable attack, but they seem to have easier times with parrying. And it's in even when I played Elden Ring and beat the game 4 times, I I never parried. I was always dodge rolling out of the way, either
Mm-hmm.
block straight up blocking or just dodge rolling. I barely ever attempted to parry, and I guess that's for also because I never played Sekiro, so I know Sekiro from our Souls friends is a very parry heavy game. So I guess if I had that experience, Wolong would be more my cup of tea, which is it's fine. It's fine as a Souls game. I'm not like I don't hate it or anything. I'm enjoying it. It's just it's for me the combat isn't as fluid and enjoyable as it is to some other people. But
Got you.
yeah, I can see probably with the bumpers if I put the block on one of the bumpers, I feel like I might have a easier time block because I for some reason it's just like I just feel awkward holding down LB
Yeah.
while I'm fighting. If I could just hold the button under the controller, it'll be a lot easier. And frankly, at this point, they need to just start putting bumpers on the back of controllers for standard controllers now.
They should. Yeah, I
They
agree.
really should just like this shouldn't be something that's exclusive to premium controllers anymore.
Yeah, I mean there are controllers you can buy, like some of the Spectra controllers for the wired ones that are like $40 for Xbox. You can get buttons on the back of them that we sell at the store. So I
Are
don't know
they
what.
any good though? Like, are they good controllers?
No,
Period.
they're pretty decent controllers. I mean, but nothing's going to replace the first party feel of the controller, though, because it's not. They're slightly smaller, so they're not as
Right. I'm
big.
talking about like forget Mad Cats and everyone else, and Astro's
No, I'm
trash
saying
control. I'm talking about like
that Astro controller
Sony
was pretty bad.
and Xbox need to have their controllers have that come standard. Like
Yeah.
you don't have to do everything where you got the profiles and keep all that stuff premium. The profiles that you can save so that as soon if you switch your game, all you gotta do is hit a button and you're using a profile that's perfect for that game. But like just having bumpers on the back, man, like just two bumpers on the back. That should be standard. And if you want to kind of keep 4 bumpers, which I don't know anyone who uses 4 bumpers in any game, but if you want to kind of keep 4 bumpers as a premium option, sure, I got no problem with that. But I just feel like controllers really haven't really evolved that much over time, and that would be a good evolution of controllers that's worthwhile.
I agree, 100%. Well, with that, sir, that's episode 125 of the podcast. Really appreciate you and all of the work you put into this every week. And really shout out to everybody in the chat. Really appreciate the conversation. You guys really help us motor through when it comes to the 2 hours to 2.5 hour podcast. I am going to pull up the channel members so we can shout out you guys and get ourselves up out of here. And if you want to be a member, just hit the join button on myself or my channel or on Slow-Mo's channel. Get you access to the Discord. Also get you shouted out at the end of all of these episodes. And you get the nice 10% icon next to your name. But first, we got Dragonheart Yobi. We got Stardust Acero. We got Texas. I'm a Rich Swag Lord. Ramon Terrell. Hargi Chani. Brap, Basement Radio Arcade Podcast. We also got Corey Hale. Rodimus, Slow-Mo Backslap, DJ Auras, and that guy Smitty. Really appreciate you guys for all the love and support, and we'll always continue to love you for doing it. Go ahead, Slow-Mo.
All right, on my side of things, we got Deal S Arcade, we got Percolator 9000, Steve Harlow, East Texas Alex, John E, John the Don, Faye Babe, Dragonheart Yobi, Enrique Hargi Shani, Texas, True Serum, Erodimus, Ramon Terrell, Homie One Kenobi, Gaming Forte, Corey Hill, Stardust Acero, and that guy Smitty. So yeah, like we definitely appreciate you guys supporting us in this way. And if you haven't, become a channel member, it is just $1 to join in. So it ain't even exactly. But look, if you won't buy your games because they're not in Game Pass, take 10% of what you give for Game Pass and put it towards the channel membership. We appreciate it.
10%. Some people want $1 deal though. Remember.
Hey, I was about to say something slanderous. I'm gonna not say it. I'm not gonna say it. I am.
Be nice. Be nice. Be nice. All right, guys. We appreciate you guys. You guys have a great weekend. We will see you for next week on Slow-Mo's channel for episode. Oh, Slow-Mo, tell everybody where they can find you at.
I'm gonna say it.
Go ahead.
We provide more content on a monthly basis than you get from your $1 deal on Game Pass.
That is facts. I'll give you that. That's facts.
Spend that $1 here. Don't spend it on Game Pass.
Right. Facts. Slow-Mo, tell them where they can find you at.
You can find me on Slow-Mo Backslap, my YouTube channel, as well as it's the same name for Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, OnlyFans, Tinder, Instagram. I'm not on all that stuff. I promise I'm not. But no, just Slow-Mo Backslap on everything.
All right, guys. Y'all have a great week. You're already on my channel, Gaming Forte, YouTube, Twitter, Xbox Live, PlayStation. Thanks for rocking out. We talk to you guys later. Peace.
Peace.